Hello everybody and welcome to Projectatron, the prediction site with a difference. Today we're doing Premier League Projectatron and we're looking at the Merseyside Derby. Rory, this kicks off this weekend's Premier League action. Liverpool host Everton. How do you see it going?
Yeah, this is usually an entertaining one. Merseyside Derby, the friendly derby they call it. I think it has the record number of red cards in the derby in the Premier League. Whatever. But both teams have been misfiring a bit of late. Everton coming off of a loss in the League Cup, Liverpool coming off that ridiculous game in the League Cup that went the distance against Middlesbrough, and then
the distance and then some.
And then 27 goals were scored in penalties. Simon Mignolet scoring, Balotelli scoring twice, of course. So there could be a little bit of fatigue playing in there, but a much bigger factor is that Liverpool haven't quite gelled this season. I mean, they've brought in so many new players, and all good players, all really decent players. But they haven't worked together yet. It's like when you type up a program, and you run the code without testing it first, and then you're wondering why isn't it working? Because this is a really good program. Look at all my functions. And with Everton, it's a little bit of a mystery because they've been so inconsistent. They've had a bad result last week in the Permier League as well, so they're really, really going to want to bounce back. And particularly for Liverpool, they don't want teams, if they want to stay in the Champions League for this year, they don't want teams to get too much of a lead on them. They'll really need to win this game, I think, because they won't find it quite so easy at Goodison Park. Everton as well will want to actually get some definition to their season because they don't know what's going to happen yet. Are we going to see the Everton of old under Moyes where they were 4th one year and then they'd be 16th the next year? Nobody wants to see that happen again. Liverpool fans want to see that happen again. Just, not relegate, but embarrassing. And, but that said, I think Everton are the more coherent unit at the moment. Liverpool haven't gelled quite so well yet. I think it's only a matter of time, and I think Liverpool will start getting better and better. They'll get more confident. All the players will get more used to one another. I don't see it happening this weekend. I think this is going to be a 2-1 win for Everton.
Okay.
I see Liverpool scoring, but I see Everton scoring more. Which is usually what happens when a team wins.
That's a 2-1 then, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I actually see this the other way around. You're correct in identifying Liverpool not having gelled yet. What's interesting to note is that when they hit the ground running in the league last year, and they started off so well, and the team seemed so much more coherent. That team had actually been in place more or less from the Christmas of the previous season. Mm-hmm. Whereas now this year Suarez is gone and they spent a lot of Suarez money bringing in 5 or 6 new players, and they have a lot of players coming off of injury still trying to gel into the squad, so they don't actually have a lot of training time, as well as time on the pitch together, and that's really affected them. When you look at Everton though, Everton haven't made many changes from the team of last season. They've added Lukaku, but only on a permanent basis. They've added Barry on a permanent basis. McGeady was there before the end of last season, and those are their. And Etu is there for depth essentially, but those are their biggest signings, and beyond that, the team is largely what it was last year. So it's very strange. It's very difficult to identify exactly what's wrong with Everton. But the fact is, they're leaking goals. I mean, they conceded 3 against Swansea in the League Cup. They conceded 3 against Crystal Palace. They conceded 6 against Chelsea. They even conceded against Wolfsburg in a Europa League game that they dominated. The only team that's failed to score on them in their last 5 games is West Brom, who, as we've spoken about before, are awful.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So it's very hard to identify what's going on, but they are leaking goals, and it seems like age is finally caught up with old man Sylvain Distin, and Phil Jagielka has carried his woeful form from the World Cup through to the league. Gareth Barry as well hasn't been as imposing in front of those two as he was last year, and it just seems like they don't really know what to do with themselves once they're being attacked with pace and with purpose. So if there's one thing Liverpool do know how to do, it's attack with pace and purpose. Whatever their other flaws, and they do have lots of them, they can always score goals with speed. So I actually think this is going to go the other way around. I think Liverpool are a flawed team and Everton have every chance of scoring, so I'm giving them a go. But I think Liverpool are going to win it. I think their pacey attack is going to be too much for that Distin, Barry and Jagielka triumvirate in the centre of their defence. And I think Liverpool will get 2, and it'll be a 2-1 to Liverpool.
Excellent.
What about Projectatron?
The good news about Projectatron is that it means one of the three of us will be right. Projectatron is going for a draw, a 0-0 board draw, ignoring previous in this game, where we've seen a few high-scoring results over the last few years. And the only highlights of this particular match were Balotelli heading straight into Tim Howard's hands from a corner, Leon Osman hitting the post with 50% of Everton shots, that being one. And nothing to write home about. 0-0, and both teams still searching for who they are in this crazy world.
So there you have it. I'm going for a 2-1 home win to Liverpool. Rory's going for a 2-1 away win to Everton. And Projectatron calls this a 0-0 draw. Everton and Liverpool tying in Merseyside. That's what we have for you this week. Don't forget to check out our NFL Projectatron and our Podjectatron. We'll be coming at you next week again with more Projectatron highlights. We look forward to seeing you then. Till then, enjoy the football.